6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Lady, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store.
I turn down chicks left and right.
Your chicks are your left and right.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
Puny god.
It puts the lotion on. You have no idea what kind of hell I can bring you!
Oh, all right, enough, you broken record, okay? Been down here 2 weeks, man, what do you want?
It puts the lotion on its skin. Now!
Well, say it, don't spray it, brother, dang.
You know, there's a million fine-looking women in the world, dude. They don't all bring you lasagna at work. Most of them just cheat on you.
A date which will live in infamy.
Coming to you live from Laurentian University, CKLU 96.7 FM. This is Real Music.
How do you do?
Your bags are packed.
My bags are packed. I'm ready to go. We're going. Let's go. No.
It's pretty original coming in there.
And we're on the air with Real Music. You're tuning in again this week. I'm your host, OJ. And in the studio today we have
Greg Tremblay.
A little bit of a technical. There we go. So, Greg's in the studio with us today. Got no other co-host with me. It's just me and Greg, one-on-one. That might be just a technical. It might be. It's. Hope we don't have any dead air. Okay.
Am I scratching too hard? Is that what it is?
There we go.
Scratch a different part of my body, maybe?
Yeah.
Ouch.
I guess so. So, Greg, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Sudbury. Actually, I was born in Windsor, but I've lived most of my life in Sudbury, and I got into film probably about 10 years ago. Just making short films and won a little award. Then was the Amateur Video Makers Competition for CTV, and I just went on to get some grants for writing, and I made a feature film, a couple documentaries. Nothing that really made it that far, but worked on a lot of different stuff. And, ouch.
Let's see what we can do here.
It might be the mic, eh?
Does that help?
Yeah.
A little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Not too much. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm right now. I'm not really filming, shooting anything, but I'm doing a lot of writing right now. I'm finishing up a comedic series called Park Brown with my writing partner Stefan Ostrander, and I've got a horror film called Blood Freaks that I'd like to start producing this year.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Raising money for anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if okay. So we were talking about off air, and this thing's like spiking like crazy. The theme of our show each and every week is we just talk about the latest movies and such. And once in a while, I'll throw in like a little tidbit of like. This is so weird today. Anyway, we'll throw in some like a lot of people that do listen in. They hear us talk about a lot about the superhero movies.
Okay.
Because we do go off on a tangent of for superhero movies.
Okay.
But other than that, like we had talked about a few weeks ago. I was here in the studio by myself, so I couldn't really talk to anybody about it. It was Oscar movies.
Okay.
And a lot of the Oscar movies, and I've been reading online too about certain articles, was the fact that almost like 85% of movies that are nominated come in this section of the year.
Okay.
And like there was a movie that came out and it actually premiered at TIFF. It was a movie called The Master.
Okay.
It had Philip Seymour Hoffman in it, and
I heard about that. Yeah, I actually, the person that I knew that saw that just said it was just horrible.
Yeah,
but I don't know if it was. I don't know.
Like it all depends on what you're looking for, because the movie was, in essence, it was about the creation of Scientology.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people went into it thinking that.
Oh, okay.
Or they thought that, and they never bothered. So a lot of movies like that, I even was mentioning too that a lot of Oscar contention movies don't come up to Sudbury.
No. Because
it's more of the multiplex.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But we do have a few movies that are getting, as I like to call, the Cinefest crowd.
Yeah.
Like the movie Flight is in theaters right now with Denzel.
Oh, okay.
That one's getting some buzz too, as well as our mics. Tell you what, I'm going to try and fix this, and we're going to just play a little track and see if we can maybe isolate the problem. So the first track I'm going to be playing is a bit of score from the movie The Last Starfighter. I enjoy. And we're back on Real Music, and of course I'm in the studio with Greg, and of course we got music playing over top there. Hang on one second. What are we doing here? Okay. All right, we're set. So it looks like we may have found the problem.
Okay.
Now is that up? Are you? Is it working now?
I don't know if I can hear myself.
Okay, let's see if I can try this now. How about now?
Hello?
A little bit.
Hello?
Okay, we don't have any spikes yet.
Okay.
Okay, so you can use that one right
Cool.
there. Yeah. And before we got into the high spikes of our meter, we're talking about movies, and
you know what I find weird is, sorry if I could just interject,
go
is
ahead.
I was on YouTube yesterday and I saw this thing that said shocking ending for video game, and it was Arkham City. I don't play video games, but my kids do, and every once in a while they're slipping in a new game, and I'm watching the story part of it, you know, and it always blows my mind that there actually is a story, and some of these storylines are actually even more elaborate than most movies. Yeah. And the ending that I watched yesterday that I thought was awesome was the end of Arkham City, where Batman and Joker. It was a big. Have you seen that? Have you?
Yeah, I've been to that portion of the game.
Okay,
yeah.
Did you see the ending or how it ends? And,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool with the two Jokers and all that. So I mean, it was the first time I saw something like that. So.
Yeah, because they've on top of that, they've actually added on to that Arkham City game with the Harlequin's Revenge.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a downloaded content.
Wow.
And they've also, because the game came out last year, they've actually produced the, as it were, Game of the Year edition.
Okay.
That includes all the downloaded content and everything, and it's like almost like cheaper than what the original game was when it first came out.
I was really shocked though. It is like a movie.
Yeah,
you know? It's got everything.
And the voice talent in it, they like to keep voice talent from they're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously, like Arkham City is a sequel to Arkham Asylum from the year before, and they had the voices of the original '90s Batman cartoon.
Oh, okay.
So the Joker was Mark Hamill.
Yeah, that's what I see. Yeah, I was going to ask about that. That was he was incredible. That was a creepy character, and like I like the Batman too. Like he's pretty buff. He was pretty cool, and it's sometimes I find there's a lot of cheese in movies. It's hard to get away from it, and it's again I guess it's perception too. Like a lot, and what's cheesy to me might not be cheesy to someone else, and then there's the cheese that we all agree on.
Yeah,
but the one thing about the Batman movies is the voice thing. Like it's just too, deep and
he's growling. Yeah,
it's a little bit too much for me, and I get it. It makes sense, but in the game, from the scene that I saw at the end, I thought this is a cool Batman. Like this is pretty.
There's one point in the game where you actually have to you're teamed up with Bane.
Okay.
Which is like
wild.
Like he broke Batman's back. What is he doing teaming up with him?
Yeah.
Type of thing. Eh? And again, we were talking off air about you hadn't seen the Dark Knight Rises yet?
No, I haven't watched it yet. No.
But you did see the previous two?
I did see the previous
trilogy?
two, yeah. And I was really I couldn't find anyone to go with, I just couldn't map it out, couldn't find the time. Like we've got a couple kids, so it's hard to map it all out, and we just moved to Dowling.
Oh, okay.
So a little further away.
Do they have a Tim Hortons out there now?
They do, yeah,
okay.
They do. Yeah, it's very close to where I am, so I've got a house for sale right now, so it's we just kind of moved out there for a year. And my writing partner actually bought the house, and so I could live in it for a year. So
that's
that
cool.
Worked out well.
Yeah. So some of the other things we talked about on the show too is upcoming releases.
Okay.
So honestly, this is at a point in the movie business where they're just coming off of September, which is like the festival period.
Mm-hmm.
So, and October was a bit of a slow time as well.
Okay.
So it's sort of like almost like a downhill type thing. I just came back uphill type thing, so it's taking it slow. Now it's coming downhill again.
All right.
And beginning of last month, they had the movie Taken 2.
Okay.
It came out, and that came out with big numbers. So it almost like started the snowball. And then Wreck-It Ralph came out the beginning of the month, actually last weekend. And actually it was number one on the weekend. I always like to...
and what's that film? Sorry, I'm not even familiar with
It's a kids movie.
Okay.
It's called Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. Oh, wait, I guess. Oh, right,
and it's based off of a fictitious arcade game.
Oh, yeah, that looks so awesome. Yes,
and
I saw a preview for that, yeah.
What's really cool about, if you ever go to the Disney website, the official website for the movie, you can actually play the game that is featured in the movie.
Oh, cool.
The actual 8-bit game.
Oh, wow.
So you play
That's
as Fix-It Felix Jr. and all that there.
Oh, that's cool.
So, because we are on, this is like Saturday, and I don't get the estimates right away of yesterday, as it were. But we will be talking about that. But last weekend, Wreck-It Ralph didn't break too much records. Came out to about 49 million.
Okay.
In its opening weekend, which it was double of what Flight took in, because Flight came out that weekend as well, and that was 24 million. Rounding up the top 5 was the other the Ben Affleck directed movie Argo.
Okay, yeah.
I have a joke with a lot of the other employees that I work with, and we say a line from the movie, but we can't say it on air. So it has to do with the title Argo, but they do say it's a line from the movie too.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Taken 2 was number 5, but the other new movie that came out last weekend was in number 4 was the Kung Fu movie directed by the Ezra of Wu-Tang Clan, called The Man with the Iron Fists.
Nice.
And it's actually pretty good. As much as you were saying, like cheese-wise, not too much. Like Russell Crowe does have a character in it, and he's actually pretty good. Like I saw one scene of it, and it's like and Eli Roth is a producer on it as well.
Oh, is he? Okay.
So he helped. Ezra wrote the story. Eli helped him develop the screenplay for it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then of course. Quentin Tarantino put his stamp of approval on it.
Of course.
So it's presented by him. So we get all these people. It's like, oh, you getting that new Quentin Tarantino movie? It's like, what, Django Unchained? It's like, no, the Kung Fu one. It's like, that's, no, he didn't direct that. He just put his stamp on it. He wasn't even a producer on it. But the movie that did come out this weekend, which they're predicting it to be the first big hit of fourth quarter, is the new James Bond.
Okay.
Skyfall. And from what I've seen of it, because I've been working the last 3 nights, and I was there for the midnight screening till 3 a.m.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so they're predicting it already made, like, it's in pre-release.
Is it any good?
It's pretty good, yeah. It's it doesn't follow the previous 2.
Okay.
They wanted to make it like the old style James Bond, where it was like a standalone.
Yeah.
Like in the last movie, Quantum of Solace, Quantum is the terrorist group,
right?
If you want to call it, they're just in the evil brand that wants to take over the world, like Spectrum and the old Sean Connery movies and that. So what they want to do is they may revisit the Quantum group.
Okay.
But this is on its own type of thing, and you get to know a bit more about James Bond.
Nice.
They do reintroduce a couple characters in it. One is it's not really giving it away because they show it in the trailers and the commercials, and it's they're bringing back Q.
Oh, okay.
The quartermaster.
Yeah.
So Daniel Craig. Obviously, he plays James Bond, and the other gentleman. I don't have the number here. His name, but they had worked together before he became James Bond in a movie called Layer Cake.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
I recall that.
Yeah. So they were like familiar too.
Yeah.
There. But yeah, he's signed on. Daniel Craig's signed on for another 2 movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there's already Oscar buzz.
Okay.
Which is weird for a James Bond movie.
For a James Bond film, that is kind of odd, yeah.
Because nobody from a James Bond movie
has ever
won.
Have they been nominated?
No,
there hasn't been. I didn't think so.
Now, of course, you've got like Joseph Fiennes is in this movie.
Oh, okay.
He's an Oscar winner.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have Oscar winners in the movies.
Of course, yeah.
But not Oscar because the guy who's playing the villain, I can never pronounce his name. He won the Oscar for he played the bad guy in No Country for Old Men.
Oh, right, yeah, Xavier.
Yeah.
Bardem.
Or
we're such losers, we can't pronounce his name.
He's a great actor.
Yeah. Is there any cool science fiction films coming out?
You know what?
I find is it just me, or is there not enough of that happening? Like Prometheus was a
big one this summer, but
that was cool. But there's nothing. Is there anything coming up or anything?
Not any time in a bit.
Okay.
I know that a lot of the big buzz of the next big sci-fi movie is. We talked about it last week too.
Okay.
Was Star Wars.
Oh, okay, yeah, they're making another one, yeah.
Yeah, because Disney just acquired them through Lucasfilm, and actually the whole Lucasfilm company itself, so they'll be under the Disney brand.
Kit and Caboodle.
Yeah, and it's funny too, all they've been talking about the last 2 weeks is Star Wars.
Yeah.
And yet they don't realize that Lucasfilm, they also own Skywalker Sound, which every studio uses now.
Oh, yeah.
And as well as ILM, Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah.
And so they do all the special effects and everything. So and then you set aside all the side companies that George Lucas had with that, and he used to own Pixar. He sold it off.
Okay.
Now Disney owns them.
Yeah.
So now, aside from all those businesses, though, with the franchises, Lucasfilm also does Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So
awesome.
So
There
with
might
that,
be one
is that
more.
you got two franchises right there.
Yeah.
With one actor who's come out to say that he's willing to reprise his role.
Oh wow!
Not just as Indy, but as Han Solo.
Yeah. Ah.
So
Very cool.
last week we talked about also Mark Hamill. Not so much that he would like to reprise his role, but he did mention that back at in August when they had Celebration 6 for Star Wars, him and Carrie Fisher had an interview, or not an interview, a lunch with George Lucas. So this was like 3 months ago.
Okay.
And George said, yeah, we're going to be making another trilogy. This was 3 months ago.
Wow.
The last time George Lucas said anything to Mark Hamill about a trilogy was back in 1976 when they were making the original movie and saying, how would you feel about making 9 movies? And the original treatment was 12, all in total. And that first one from 77 was, in the timeline, as it were, would have been like the second movie. And they would go and they would do all of them, but they also would go back and do like a episode 0 type of thing, like a prequel. So what they're trying to do is they're going to they've already signed on a writer who is the Oscar winner of screenwriter of Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, okay.
He also did Toy Story 3.
Oh, I love Toy Story 3.
So he's got some some Disney in him as well. He's
Toy Story 3 was awesome. I love the ending to Toy Story 3. That was wicked.
Did you ever see any of the shorts that they did afterwards?
I've seen a couple of them. Yeah, some of the stuff that was featured on the discs. Is there like outside of that? Or,
since then they've done one where it was called Small Fry.
Okay.
Which had to do with Bonnie, the little girl that owns all the toys now.
Oh.
They're at like a McDonald's-esque place.
Okay.
And Buzz gets lost in the bulb bin.
All right.
He gets switched out with one of the smaller Buzz Lightyear Happy Meal toys. So Buzz is there talking with the all discarded Happy Meal toys, and little Buzz is portraying that he's Big Buzz. Yeah, whatever, That's what he's talking with. And so, what's really funny about all the little toys in that one was, one of them seemed it would be real, and it was, do you remember the Michael Crawford movie, Condor Man?
No.
He played a actor who was like on TV type of thing. This is like before like what we see nowadays, and but the character was an actor who played this character, and then
he was one of the toys.
Yeah, the Condor Man in a car. It was one of the toys. It was really cool.
Oh my god!
Another one that they did was more recently was one called Partysaurus Rex.
Okay.
And that was they had that. They're all theatrical versions too, eh? So this one was on the re-release of Finding Nemo that they had out in 3D and everything.
Yeah.
And this one had to do with Rex, the dinosaur.
Yeah.
And he's always ruining things.
Okay.
With all the toys. So Potato Head calls him Party Pooper Rex.
Okay.
And then Bonnie comes along and her mom's at his bath time and says, "Can I bring a toy?" They all scatter except for Rex.
Okay.
He just falls to the ground.
Okay.
And then Bonnie comes in. It's like, "You could be the new monster." And then it goes into what I like to call the beginning of Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
Because that was almost like little Andy playing with his toys back then. I always think that, okay, he's going off to college to be an animator.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
So this is his reel, as it were.
Oh yeah.
Type of thing. So that's what,
cool.
But of course it's the imagination, which is awesome because they make it look like it's something like a real movie type of
it's
thing.
Huge. It's epic. Yeah.
And then so in Bonnie's bathtub, it's like that. You see but it's the bath toys. You see this little tugboat guy comes in. It's like, and you see his beacon, and the duck says, "Save yourself!" And you see a giant T-Rex just come out of the water, and then all of a sudden he splashes, and then all of a sudden it cuts to Bonnie in the tub, playing with it, and then she's got to go, and it's like the water's overflowing, and then but Rex ends up meeting all the bath toys, and they love to party.
Okay.
So they decide to
buy some cocaine and
so they end up running out of water.
Okay.
But all the bath toys, they can't do anything without water.
Yeah, they're useless without the bath.
So they'll like go off onto their side because they're curved and everything. So and nobody's got arms except for the octopus who's up on the shelf, still stuck in soap.
Okay.
Type of thing. So Rex says, "Well, I got arms." It's like, what do they call you? It's like Partysaurus Rex. It's like, okay. It's like, so he turns on the water and puts some soap in there, and then he's partying and everything, and all of a sudden says, and each time he says, like, "Oh, how about some more soap? Some more bubble?" It's like, he thinks about it, and all of a sudden a bubble comes up, and it's the image of an echo of Mr. Potato Head saying, "Party pooper." And says, "A little? Why not a lot?" So he just like pumps a whole bunch more in there, and then he sees all these lit up toys, and "Can we come in?" Almost like the cute girls trying to get into the party, like the nightclub and everything, because they're light up toys. Says, and then you just see the bubble, or you don't even see the bubble, you just hear the voice say, like, "Pooper," and some of you, how about all of you, just dumps the whole thing in there, and then all of a sudden it just goes like a nightclub, like it's flashing lights and everything, and he just goes with it. He doesn't even hear the echo, whatever. Throws a Viking, it was a Viking dispenser for the soap, throws the whole thing in there.
Oh, God.
It's like, and then all of a sudden everybody's going, and then they get almost like a strobe light going, type of thing, and
a disco ball kind of thing,
and
a disco bubble.
Well, it was the strainer.
Oh, okay.
Where all the toys were in, so that got dumped in there. So they've left some of the lit up ones inside of it, so you can see it all in the bathroom and everything. And then he realizes that it's coming to overflow.
Okay.
But even before that, there's an overflow drain in the bathtubs. It says, "Oh no, the overflow drain." He throws, without hesitation again, he throws like a sponge over top of it. No problem. It's like, and you hear the sponge guy say, "This guy," it's because the water's coming over top. And then he ends up like getting to realize that it's gonna overflow. And it's like, wait a minute, this is getting serious now. It's like, so he goes to turn it off the water. The whole tap comes right off, like the knob itself.
Yeah.
So, oh no, it falls off, hits one of the the lit up guys, and he goes right to the bottom. And right at the bottom, you see all these guys that can't float. It says, "Oh man, all the floaters have all the fun." And then you see the lit up guy come down with the handle, as it were.
Yeah.
And it says, "Party people," and then he just starts flashing, so everyone's partying. It's like, oh man. And then he realized, oh wait, there's a tap, there's a little knob thing on top of the faucet.
Right.
I can stop the water that way. So he brings it up, pushes it up, it's like, and all the flashing of the nightclub stops, and it's like the regular flashing. It's just the regular light of the bathroom. It's like, oh man. And then you start hearing it, just the pipes.
The shower.
It's the shower head. And then everything's like one of those foam parties and everything, and then they come right out. And all the loud music and everything. BT did the music for it.
Okay.
And it's just loud, and all of a sudden it cuts. And you see the Buzz and Woody outside. It's like, I wonder what happened to Rex. And they knock on the door. "Rex, are you?" And then just like halfway through the sentence, the door just bursts right open with all the
bubbles.
water.
Yeah.
So awesome. Hopefully they'll put that out soon. They got a Pixar short films collection, Volume 2, coming out.
Sweet.
And that's getting to my Next section. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. I got to do some more things. Like you're listening to CKLU. Of course, this is Real Music on 96.7 FM. And we're streaming online at cklu.ca. And, of course, I'm joined in the studio with...
Greg Tremblay.
Yeah. So, some of the other things that I always tend to run off on is... Because I have a passion for movies. And then, so obviously you saw that with
me. Do you?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. But another thing I do, too, is during the week, when time is allotted, I always... take a trip to HMV or video stores, whatever, just to see what's new in the video stores and everything, and we call it DVD Tuesday.
Okay.
It's a Tuesday with the DVD at the beginning of it. Sometimes it ends up being DVD Wednesday once in a while. But yesterday is one of the odd times where they'll release a DVD release on a Friday.
Okay.
And this one was one of them. It was one of the summer hits. It was The Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
With Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Love Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You too, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a crush on her. My son has a crush on her.
She just had her 24th birthday this week.
Did really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Actually, my son hasn't seen that movie. I said he has a crush on her. I think I'm just... He loves Spider-Man. He's 4, and he hasn't seen that one yet. So I'm looking forward to watching it with him. I think it takes a while for him to become Spider-Man in that film.
Yeah, because it's a reboot.
Yeah, and I love it. So I didn't think I was going to like it, but my girlfriend and I and our nephew watched it, and we thought it was awesome. We saw it in the theater, and I can't wait for my son to see it. So, and I didn't want to bring him to the theater because, like I said, it took too long for him to be Spider-Man, which is fine for us, but for a 4-year-old kid, that's a long time, you know. But I think he's going to enjoy it for sure. You know?
Like you said that about it takes long to become Spider-Man. Dark Knight Rises, it's probably about an hour.
Yeah.
Before he becomes Batman again.
I figured that, yeah. Like the first one, Like he's not Batman for a while. But that's what I loved about it.
Yeah.
Because we've gotten, full on Batman in all the other films. Yeah. And my girlfriend and I rented all the Batmans not too long ago, all the cheesy ones with Schwarzenegger and they were horrible. But that being said, being a filmmaker, you can appreciate so many things about it though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the stuff they did on the sound and light stages and some of the set design, cheesy effects. Some effects were okay. But as a filmmaker, it's always fun to watch that old school stuff, before we were all completely relying on CGI computer stuff.
Yeah, like the first Batman movie, like with Michael Keaton. That was like the first time you actually get to see Batman, like, kick somebody's butt, as it were.
Yeah.
Like we were always used to like the cartoons of like the Super Friends. Yeah. Which, in its own way, looking back on it too, it is a bit cheesy as well.
Yeah.
As well as the old Adam West. That's what I was used to before that too. I wasn't around when it first aired, but you get them all the time on I was watching it on YTV and all the reruns and everything. So you watch it as a kid and it's like, ooh, yay! Yeah. It's Batman. And then, but if you watch it now, it's Adam West is a comedic genius.
Oh yeah.
It's just the jokes that they have in there that you don't see as a kid. Yeah. So where was I? Oh yeah, here we go. And there is, as well as we're trying to figure out a new name for DVD Tuesday, because it's more all now about Blu-rays.
Right.
So we can't really think of a Blue Tuesday, like
Blue Day.
Yeah.
Tuesday?
It's like, what? Are you sad? It's like, no, I'm happy because these movies are out.
Yeah.
So this coming up week on this Tuesday is the 13th sees the premiere of on Blu-ray of the classic Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Awesome. So it's coming out to Blu-ray. The movie from this past summer as well, the kids movie Brave.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it comes out onto Blu-ray.
I missed that in the theater, and I hear it's good.
It is good.
Yeah.
I took my wife and I took our niece and nephew to see it, and they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Last year we did the same thing. We took them to see the other Disney movie called Tangled.
Okay. I love Tangled.
Yeah, it's like the
that's one of my favorite Disney.
And it's like we come out of it, and I asked my nephew, "Did you enjoy it?" It's like, that's a girls' movie.
Yeah, it was so good though. It was so
very well done. Yeah.
I love the story. I like how they reworked that.
And that was a story that they've been wanting to do since like almost like Snow White and Cinderella and all that their time period and everything. It's like they wanted to do something like that, but they never got around to actually like getting a good story. And
it was fantastic. My son loves that film too, and we always laugh the bar scene where all the bar guys are drinking or singing, and
one of the guys in that
laugh at that.
Is actually kind of cool too, is because one of them is voiced by, and now I can't remember his name now. He played Robbie on Everyone Loves Raymond.
Okay,
the brother.
Okay,
he did a voice. He's got that deep bellowing voice as well.
Okay,
right? As well as the other guy who's in there is I can't remember his name now. You know James Bond movies?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not.
Okay, do you know the movie Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a guy in that one.
Mm-hmm.
He played the henchman from the James Bond movies of Moon. I gotta get this right now. Moonraker.
Moonraker, yeah.
Played the guy named Jaws with the metal teeth.
Okay.
He played one of the
oh really
one of those guys in the bar there in Tangled.
Okay.
So, one of the other ones too is the new Oliver Stone movie from this past summer called Savages.
Mm-hmm.
Stars Blake Lively, John Travolta.
Okay.
It's a very, very good movie.
Yeah.
One of the stars in it though, Taylor.
Did that get a lot of press? I can't remember hearing a lot about that.
But Taylor, I think I'm gonna mispronounce his name, but Taylor Krause, I think is his name is.
Okay.
He was in a movie earlier this year called John Carter.
Oh yeah.
Which is based off of like.
I enjoyed that.
Like it's the sci-fi novel, like from the early 1900s and all that.
Yeah.
And
I like John Carter.
Yeah, and there was a lot of buzz against it. Like they didn't. A lot of the critics didn't like it.
I know.
Stuff like that.
That was a weird deal, and it was. I remember had lunch with Rob Pavanchi. Actually, I remember he was telling me about it. He's a photographer for Westmount Photography, and he was saying it's a great film because again, I always ask what's new for sci-fi. What else is coming out?
Yeah.
And he had mentioned that, and he said it got virtually no good reviews. It was like just kind of pushed. Pushed to the back, the video store, and sure enough, I found it one day and I watched it, and I completely agreed with him. It was awesome. I loved it. Like I really liked.
And but theatrically, it didn't do that well.
No, it plummeted. Yeah.
And of course, I was put up by Disney. The movie was cost $200 million to make.
What the hell, man? So why
all the sci-fi, all
it
the
was a marketing disaster.
Yeah.
It had to be, right? Like
yeah.
They just didn't put enough into marketing.
And so probably about a month after it came out, they just wrote it off. Like it was $200 million they lost. Like they know that they're not going to see it back from that movie, but they eventually saw it back and tenfold with the Avengers.
Yeah,
well,
certainly. Yeah.
So the number one movie of the year.
No, that Avengers, is that the one with? I'm kidding.
With Uma Thurman and Ralph Fiennes?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's the reason why they even like the tickets that we would at the theater. You buy your tickets. It actually says Marvel's The Avengers, and if you look it up online too, it's under M for Marvel The Avengers.
Yeah.
There's so much buzz around it was an amazing movie, that one. And the
Avengers?
Yeah. And
now, is it Iron Man 2 that takes off, wait, what is it? No, the second Captain America, does that take off from the end of the Avengers, the first Avengers? Or Iron Man 3?
Now, what they like to call all the Marvel Studio films that we do, like starting from Iron Man, even including the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, it was put out by Universal. and then the sequel to Iron Man, and then Thor and Captain America, and then leading up into the Avengers. That's what they like to call Phase 1.
Okay.
Now, Phase 2, they just finished filming the third Iron Man.
Okay.
They've
now that takes place after.
Yeah, everything now takes place after
so
Avengers, and then and even that they. If you ever watch the trailers online right now for Iron Man 3, and he even says he mentions the events that happened in New York.
Okay.
So they follows it. They're filming right now in England the new Thor movie, which is called The Dark World.
I hope that's good because I didn't like Thor. I just didn't like it, man. It was
they had to do something.
They had to do something, but which is great, and I liked the character. But there was something. It was just campy, man. The whole, hooking up with these people, and it was just seemed really old school in a bad way to me. You know, it was just like really you couldn't come up with something a little cooler than that. You know,
and then
'cause you got cool characters.
Yeah,
you know, but they just
so that one comes out. Iron Man comes out in May. Thor comes out the November after that.
Okay.
So at the same next year this time, and then after that it's the Captain America.
Cool.
It's called The Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Have you seen Captain America?
Oh yeah, I just watched it again the other night with my son,
I enjoyed that one. This past summer, they announced all these titles, like mostly it's like the subtitles because that's what like the Thor, The Dark World.
Yeah,
they didn't want to put a number onto it, with the exception of Iron Man because they've already done Iron Man 2, so now Iron Man 3. Now when they mentioned for Captain America, The Winter Soldier, I knew exactly what movie they're doing and who's coming back.
For Captain America?
Yeah. So obviously Chris Evans is coming back.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking it's like, oh yeah, Sebastian Stan's coming back. He's the actor who played Bucky. Now, if you remember the movie, you said you watched it recently.
Yeah.
So they do that whole montage of taking down all those factories and everything, and then they get down to the last one where it's a train. Bucky falls off into the ravine, and it's a frozen river down there.
Right. Oh.
The Winter Soldier, right there.
Oh.
Because he is the Winter in the comic books. He is Winter Soldier.
Ah.
So
cool.
So they've also signed on the Anthony Mackie, who is the African American actor from the Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon. He's also got another movie coming up in January called Gangster Squad.
Oh, okay.
Josh Brolin's in it. Sean Penn plays the bad guy.
Ah, Sean Penn. Oh,
yeah.
God. Oh,
he
what's that called again?
Gangster Squad.
Oh, I gotta see that. I miss Sean. I was just thinking about Sean Penn the other day. I'm like, I can't wait to see what he's gonna be in next. I'd love to see him in a superhero film.
He is in this one, and he is intense as this mob boss, East Coast mob boss in
I'm
L.A.
Scared. Yeah, I'm already scared of him.
You know, so it's almost like L.A. Confidential, only tweak more. And
see, Sean Penn could do a superhero film. You know, like I could see him. Like it sounds crazy, but I could see him doing a Joker or something like that. You know,
yeah.
Because you look at him in Carlito's Way. You know, that slimy lawyer with the curly hair. You know, and then to Mystic River, where he is kind of a boss there. You know, he's kind of a not a mob boss, but he's
But yeah,
the king or whatever. But he's hardcore. You know, like
yeah.
he's just like there's something about him. You know.
And then the other people they have signed on for Captain America sequel is Sam Jackson.
Okay.
Reprising his role as Nick Fury.
Okay.
Scarlett Johansson. As well as I am never gonna get her name right, but she's the one that plays Marina Hill, Agent Hill. She's from the show How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
They've all signed on.
Nice.
And that one's coming out April 2014.
Okay.
And then later on that summer, they also announced another group picture, as it were. And it's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
So there was 2 movies that there was rumored to be for it, and one of the other ones was going to be a Doctor Strange movie.
Okay.
And so they debunked it by saying that we're putting out Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ah.
So now with that one debunked, there was rumors coming around that Doctor Strange was going to show up in the next Thor movie.
Oh.
And there was we were talking a few weeks ago. We were talking with Rob, and we mentioned it to him, and he said, "Oh, who would play Doctor Strange?" And he's, I think in his head he was going through his own little casting call type of thing to play the character and everything.
Oh yeah.
And there was the one name that kept on coming up was the actor Viggo Mortensen to play him.
Oh, that's cool. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then obviously everything.
He's another badass freaking actor, man. That can just
like
pull anything off.
History of Violence.
Oh,
have you seen that one?
Yeah. Or
Eastern
Promises.
Yeah,
Like,
that was good too.
He's so he's captivating, that guy, and he can do anything. You know, like he's.
And to think he's actually one of the he's in that.
And he played Freud in Cronenberg's other film. Like Cronenberg loves him. He's used him a few times now, 3 or 4 times.
And of all things, one of his early films, he's just like Matthew McConaughey. He's an alumni to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was. Matthew was in the 4th one that they did, which was called Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation.
Yeah.
Renee Zellweger was in it as well.
Oh, cool.
But in the 3rd one, it was called Leatherface.
Okay.
And Viggo was in that one.
That.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna like my the film that I've written, Blood Freaks, because I've reinvented like the Wolfman, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, these characters, right?
Yeah.
And it's a trilogy as well. It goes on. They kind of become superheroes in a sense, but they're the anti-heroes, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
They have serious problems, but they have to get together to fight this other a greater evil, you know.
Oh, okay.
In a world of lesser and greater evils, you know. It's so I think you're going to enjoy it, man. Actually, I should give you the script. You should check it out because it's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
I got the voodoo priest, the porn actress, the new Wolfman, the new Texas Chainsaw character, and they're all pretty neat. And they've got a very humanistic side to them, you know. Like I tell the story of why they are the way they are.
Oh, okay.
And you tend to feel bad for them all. So I make them human, you know, and they are the villains in the film, but yet they're not, you know. By the end of the movie you realize that, they're kind of, it goes a little deeper than that, you know. But it's a disgusting film, and I'm really looking forward to putting it together. And like I said, it's a trilogy. The 2 films that follow, they have to band together, and this one character, Spoon Man, who gets high off people's DNA. He's a junkie, but he gets high off DNA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you'll find him licking spoons or sucking on tampons. It's disgusting, but he becomes the ringleader. They're all looking for him, and he's got to band them together because there's something going on in another country.
That was one thing I always find interesting about Canadian films that are from Canadian filmmakers. And I think that's one of the things why I like Canadian movies, is that there's always too much of something. Mm-hmm. There's either too much sex, or there's too much
such a thing.
But or there's too much violence.
Yeah.
But with the story, it almost like it's worked into the story, like it has to be, type of thing in order to do that, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see you do it. And,
it's it's got elements. It pays homage to the horror films that we all love.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it does. It certainly does. And although there's no zombies in it, by the 3rd one, it has a lot more to do with zombies, and you can kind of see where it's headed. Not necessarily by the end of the first one, but the second one, you really get that. Oh my God, this huge thing is happening, and but I'm really trying to launch it, and I want to do some crowdfunding this year. Because of the different characters, I want to make teams that are just worldwide. People investing in like Team Wolfman, Team Voodoo Priest, Team Porn Star, and really get people behind it. And Rob Sachetto is actually one of my main marketing guys behind it. He's doing the storyboards for the film, and we're going to be selling them. So you get to, when you invest in the film, it might be $5, it might be $10, it might be $100. You get a limited release of a storyboard from the film. Designed by him.
Now, are you going to be doing the same thing that he's doing with his graphic novel?
Something like that, but on
Indiegogo?
Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
This has I've got American partners for this one too.
Oh, perfect.
So I want to it's opened up, for everyone, but it's like I said, it's a little bit different. The strategies are a little bit different. There's going to be a site devoted just to it.
Perfect.
With a lot of competitions, a lot of stuff, because I'm trying to bring back some horror greats and heroes of mine. Like, I would love Tom Savini to do the effects for it.
Yeah.
And I want him to act in it as well. I'm trying to get Leona Quigley back in. She was a naked chick in Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just love her. And I met her when I was young. I was in grade 8. My dad took me to a Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors.
Oh yeah.
And which, you know, I think that was before the Comic-Cons were huge. Now it's just
now it's like you go to them now and it's like where are the comic books?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's a whole different thing, you know, and it's awesome. But then it wasn't as big, but it was cool. So I got to meet a lot of you know, my favorite horror greats, you know. So but I'm trying to reprise them all, bring them back. Tony Todd, Candyman.
Yes.
I'm trying to get him in to be the voodoo priest. So I'm trying to get these.
Have you seen him in the Hatchet films?
Oh yeah, and I just don't. Yeah. See, I mean, if they're making movies like that, no offense, but I mean, if those things are happening, then
like
Blood Freaks is going to blow them out of the water. Blood Freaks is a whole new formula for a horror film.
Before we go off, forget about Hatchet. The reason why I bring that up is because I love seeing them back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tony Todd.
Oh, so do I. And
and
that's the thing, and that's why Blood Freaks is like,
yeah.
I'm so passionate about it, because I'm bringing them back in an awesome friggin' roles, man. Like they're going to be. You're going to be dripping, man. Like, the women are going to love what I do with these characters. You're going to love these characters. I'm going to make you love them. I'm going to make you hate them. And it's all in there. It's not just this guy in a mask with a hatchet or whatever. Like, you get to see where they come from and you know, what they go through. And then what they're, you know, why they unleash what they unleash upon the world, you know. But
sounds cool.
But it's great, yeah. And it's I'd love to just get these guys in, and it's possible, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just rounding them up and getting one to agree to this and to that. And the way the film is designed, I don't need them for that long. I could shoot them out in a couple days, 2 or 3 days. So it's not like, you know. So in that respect, I'm going to try and get even bigger name actors, you know. To say, look, I'll fly you in, you know, for a day of shooting, just to get these cameos, just to say that this guy's in it, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
It's funny that you mentioned the word cameo, because I always like segues.
Mm-hmm.
And we mentioned about the Spider-Man coming out yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone, I think this is his best role yet. You had seen it. Correct?
Mm.
And here it is. The man himself, Stan Lee, had his cameo in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And of course, I like I said, I've mentioned this before. I do work at the Silver City, so I have to go in there and I have to make sure that the quality of the film and everything. So I tend to time it just right where I'm going in on his role.
Mm-hmm.
It was perfect too, because everything was silent. I mean, everything was like loud, banging, the fight scene and everything, and all of a sudden it goes into the classic music of him with the headphones on and nothing happening to him. He just walks right out. And now he wants a bigger role than that. He's like the king of cameos.
It's incredible. I know.
And it all started off with he actually had a bigger role. Not really. It wasn't really a cameo, but they like to say it's where it started was in the Kevin Smith movie Mallrats.
Yeah.
Of course, he played a character of himself, and you know it's a character because he had a beard, not his iconic mustache.
Yeah.
But ever since then, he's been in all the Marvel movies that he can be. Like, he wasn't in the Punisher movies.
Yeah.
He even said too, it's like
what a god.
He wasn't. He didn't create it. Same with Blade.
Yeah.
Like, his name's in the executive credits because it's Marvel now.
You pay homage to Stan.
Yeah. You know.
Stan Lee. Oh my God. What a.
And that's another story we talked about earlier this year. Was back in October or September. It was October, I think it was. End of September.
Mm-hmm.
He had a pacemaker installed.
Oh, okay.
So now he's becoming more like Tony Stark.
Yeah.
and that's a quote from him.
I'm sure everyone in the world that has a pacemaker is not feeling like Iron Man, but
man is 90 years old.
Jesus, are you serious? He's
and
90?
A few weekends ago at New York Comic-Con, he was there, and it's like, he's like he's either in his 30s or 20s or something, and he tried out the new Xbox 360 game for the Kinect.
Yeah.
of the Avengers. And the Kinect is a game where you don't need the controller and you move around.
Yeah.
And the character moves around as you. He's like moving like anybody else.
Man, he must be it must be amazing. Just look at your creation and have it's exploded into all these worlds. And
he's one of the Marvel, as it were, creators that's been around. He wrote stories for Captain America back in the 40s.
So it's like from inception
to... Yeah, he was like a teenager back then. Like he wrote, as it were, not backstories, but back page stories. And for Captain America comics. And so through Tremblay, and then he became, once it became Marvel in the 60s, he came up with all these superhero ideas.
Phenomenal.
So,
phenomenal.
And of course, you can't go without saying that the artist is as well.
Yeah.
Was a co-creator with them, you know, like, and there was like...
They're heroes. They are heroes, man. There's got to be, going forward, those guys should be superheroes,
Yeah. So, we've been, going for a while, actually. We're just
what time are we going till? Because I just realized I'm going to get a parking ticket.
Are you?
Yeah. I only put in for an hour. And
yeah, I think we have another half hour left.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're going to play... we're going to play some important messages.
Okay.
It's the top of the hour now. So after this, we'll be right back. And hopefully Greg will still be here. And, we'll be right back. And that was the Raiders March from Raiders of the Lost Ark, of course, by composer John Williams. And we're going to take a little... we're going to take a little bit of listen to now some of a Canadian composer by the name of Howard Shore. And he's done scores for, of course, Lord of the Rings, as well as the upcoming The Hobbit. And, of course, next week we got coming out in theaters is the new Twilight movie. And he did the score for Eclipse. So here is the Bella's theme from Eclipse. And that was Howard Shore from the movie Eclipse of the Twilight Saga. I was like, whenever there is a franchise of movies, when they get a hit off the first one, they will continue it on by saying, like Twilight was the name of the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then when New Moon came out, it was the Twilight Saga, New Moon. It's like, well, what are you going to name the first one?
Yeah.
Because even that, like with Star Wars, the first movie was called Star Wars.
Yeah, because they don't know if a second one's going to be...
Exactly. Even like after they did they finished off that trilogy, it was still called Star Wars.
And they didn't even know, like even the actors themselves,
yeah.
They had no clue that it was going to become...
And the latest one to join that trend is Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Because they're filming Catching Fire right now, so now it's called The Hunger Games.
Trilogy.
Catching Fire. Yeah. So you can wait for those new covers of the books to include that.
It's interesting what you just told me there while the song was playing about Twilight, 50 Shades of Grey being fan fiction.
Yeah.
And they just swapped...
they just replaced a few things to make it not, because it was part of the, like if you ever go on to like different fan fiction websites, I came across one a few years ago. There's so much Star Wars stuff. There's so much of whatever was popular at the time too. Yeah. But obviously there's a lot of Star Wars and there's a lot of Star Trek. So there's a lot of geeks out there.
Yeah.
Present company included. You go to them and they're all like there's different categories as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's like PG, there's PG-13, there's R, and then there's erotic. You know, and I believe that was under that category.
Yeah.
I've never read the books. All I know about 50 Shades of Grey is Bear Down Paint. So.
Really? Yes, jeez. Well, I heard people started talking about it, and I read a lot. I guess these women were getting into it. I thought, if it makes my wife more, my girlfriend want to have sex more, then I'll get it for her and we'll check it out. And I read some of it. It was and it totally reminded me of Twilight. Like, and I was like, okay, it's just like this, not gross writing, but just very basic, whatever. It doesn't really go anywhere. And just like the movies, it's like you're watching the entire film just to get to this ending. This is great, but it could have been a short film minus all this stuff that I don't care about. This teenage angst and all this whatever, But I mean, maybe if I was a teenage girl, I would care. So I'm not putting it down. It's just not my thing. That I don't
I first came across 50 Shades of Grey thanks to Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah. Oh, when Will Ferrell did that.
They did a commercial, like one of their false commercials and everything, and it was at Mother's Day, and the dad would help the kids, and then they go into where the mother is, and it's like, "What are you doing here? No, get out." Type of thing. Yeah. And just different situations that they're in.
Yeah.
And you can probably find it online somewhere on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah. I know, but it's amazing though, because you see, to read them, they're not literary novices. They're not anything. There's nothing special about the writing, but the concept just blows up, and it doesn't matter. No one gives a shit. No one cares about whether it's written well or not. It's just they eat it up, and it happens to be a trilogy, and they're set for life.
And there's so much because I can't remember who got I think it was Summit got the rights to it. And already there's like different people wanting to star in it. Like there's like some people from Vampire Diaries that are rumored to be in it. Even as I like to joke around, Arpad and K-Stu.
Who? What?
The pair from Twilight.
Oh, okay.
Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. Even they want to do it. And
50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah. It's like they want to do. They're still together. And they want to They want to continue working together. It's like, but you don't need to do that.
Not do it. Yeah, come on.
Like, mind you, they are probably the right age bracket to do it as well, because they are like
they would be
years apart.
I mean, how could you watch that and not think of Twilight? And it is, that would be funny though, knowing that it is fan fiction.
Yeah.
But I like what my girlfriend's kind of stance on that is like, use somebody new.
Yeah.
Use somebody fresh and new. Because I guess Angelina Jolie is directing it or producing it.
Something like that, I think so.
Some kind of right to it, but she's like a stick figure now. Like, I don't even know if I'd want to see her naked, but okay, yeah, I would.
But speaking of her, Mr. Angelina Jolie, Mr. Brad Pitt, he's got a new movie coming out next summer, and they just released the trailer for
World War Z.
World War Z by Matt Brooks.
Night. Yeah. Very cool.
It actually looks decent now that they pushed it back to next summer, because it was supposed to come out next month.
Oh,
and they pushed it.
Why?
I have no idea. I think they wanted more reshoots for it. Really? A lot of the CG for the zombies and everything too. Yeah. If you look at it, it almost looks like a
video game,
like a tidal wave of zombies and the way they're moving and everything, and like just like far, like you see it from a distance mostly, and
it does. Like, I like that one shot though where they're all running up the wall kind of thing, and that was kind of neat. But yeah, it looks a little bit.
And I always mention this to people too. Is like the actor, because I can never remember their names. There's a show on AMC called The Killing, and it was a Seattle-based police detective who she was en route to move to California.
Okay.
And this was just one last case, and she would pass it on to her successor, as it were.
Right.
And she is playing Brad Pitt's wife.
Oh, okay.
In World War Z, as well. The detective that was supposed to take over from her, but they end up being partners throughout the whole series, 2 seasons, and then it got canceled. He's going to be portraying RoboCop.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, the new RoboCop movie.
RoboCop,
yeah. And have you seen the costume?
No.
The outfit? Oh.
Is it awesome?
No.
No? Why? No. What is it?
It's a modified. It's like a crossbreed between Batman and Iron Man.
I knew it.
And so I'm still gonna give it. It's a little bit of
Give it a chance.
Give it a chance, type of thing.
Peter Weller, he's doing some directing now, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know because I noticed some Sons of Anarchy and a couple episodes.
Yep.
I noticed it was directed by him, and I like him. I like his style.
He's also doing voice work as well.
Okay.
This past September saw the release of another, Batman. DC Warner Brothers is releasing. They do it every once in a while, like 2 or 3 a year. Mm-hmm. They release animated films.
Yeah,
and this one was based off of the Frank Miller miniseries from 1986, Dark Knight Returns.
Nice.
And it's
some of those.
Part 1.
Okay.
So they're putting it into 2 parts because it is a massive story.
Yeah.
And
like that.
And Peter Weller does the voice of Batman.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
And so far, because in the storyline, the first half of it is mostly either the mutant leader or Two-Face, who just had plastic surgery to get rid of the scarring.
Oh.
And that's the first half. To tease off for this part 2 was Joker. He's weeding himself off the medication, so he gets that little smile at the end.
Yeah.
So part 2 is you're going to see everything happen. Okay. Like the one-armed Green Arrow, the massive fight between Batman and Superman.
Really?
The death of 2 of the characters. But they, like, if you've read the comic book, you know it's not really a teaser type thing. But to get to it, it's amazing to watch, especially in animation form. You know, of course, I do have to mention that again. You're listening to Real Music on CKLU 96.7 FM. You can catch us streaming online at cklu.ca. And coming up next is a show called, see if I can read it from here, This Way Out. You catch that at 2:30. I mentioned earlier about Quentin Tarantino. And he's got a movie coming out this Christmas called Django Unchained. Christopher Waltz is in it.
Okay.
The Academy Award winner from Inglourious Bastards.
Okay.
Another Quentin Tarantino movie. Well, I think he has reached his career now. Not that he can, not that he can't go forward anymore, but I think he's reached his career goal now. Is that he is going to be in the next Muppet movie?
What?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah. So he's going to be joining. He's going to be joining the.
Did you watch the Roman Polanski film? What's it called? Carnage.
No.
With the parents, that was good. With Jodie Foster and John C. Reilly, Christopher Waltz, and who's the other one? In Titanic, that girl. Titanic. Kate Winslet?
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
That's pretty good.
I haven't seen that yet.
It all takes place like in one room, but
it was
good. Yeah, it was really good. It's funny.
And you had mentioned earlier too that you like the a lot of the new video games too. That they're almost like movies and everything.
Well, I don't play video games.
Yeah.
Actually. I don't even touch them. But I'm just discovering that there's some crazy storylines going on here, and it's pretty cool. Like I was just on YouTube, like I said, and I saw that the ending to Arkham City with the Joker and Bane and all that, and it was like, oh wow, it was really really cool, really creepy, and
And there's a old school game getting a movie treatment.
What is it?
Castle Wolfenstein.
Oh, cool.
So they're So they're going to be developing that. Like I played Wolfenstein on the latest edition of it on the PS. Actually, it was on the PS2 that I played. There was a PS3 version as well.
Yeah.
And it had to do with all the occult that
Hitler.
They dove deep into the what Hitler and everything.
I think yesterday a lot of that game was banned too, and switched around because of all the Nazi symbolism in it. Not that it was portrayed horribly, but it was just too much of it, Too many swastikas,
And of course, the game was made up almost similar to like I think Doom came out at the same time when they came out to video games.
Doom was after, right? Doom came.
Yeah, I think it was like
Wolfenstein. It was the first one.
Yeah.
Was that the first POV game to come out?
I think so.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Doom has already got a movie.
With The Rock or Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. So let's see how I'm wondering to see how they're going to do Wolfenstein, because it may be a little bit better than Doom. Because they had that, what did they call it? I'm going to, because we can't say swears on the air, but it was a BFG, the name of the weapon that he had.
Okay.
It stood for a big frickin' gun.
Yeah.
There's no like technical name for it or whatever. Another franchise that they're trying to rejuvenate is Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
And they've now delayed it till next fall. So
to go into production?
Go into production. They're still eyeing for 2014 for it to come out, but
that was those are good ones.
And even that one too had a I think about 2 or 3 years ago they put out a video game as well, and they had everybody from the original Ghostbusters come back and do their voice, and the story of it took place I think it was 2 years after the second one. So it was like still that 90s feel to it type of thing, and everyone, like I played the Wii version, which is a little bit more cartoony, the animation, and I also played the PS3 version, which was like obviously next gen, so it's a more realistic type of thing. But it was cool too because you had everybody, not just like the Ghostbusters, but Annie Potts did the voice of the receptionist. And I can never remember the guy's name. Not even I don't even want to pronounce his name because I don't even remember it. But the guy who played Becker or Decker, it was the guy who was trying to put them away in the first one.
Oh, okay. Oh, him.
Yeah, and he's back too. His character was back, and the guy played the voice too. Oh, God. So it's kind of cool.
What about Rick Moranis? Was he in that?
No,
I
don't think so.
Or Sigourney Weaver?
No, this one it still had like elements of the last two.
Yeah.
But they went off on more of the spirits that they were fighting and everything too. So
did you like Prometheus? Did you like?
I got to see it. Like I said, I work at the theater. We actually opened up our the AVX theater that we have up there.
Yeah.
That was our first movie.
Oh.
And we had closed it, I think the weekend or the Monday after opening weekend of the Avengers.
Okay.
And it takes about 4 weeks to convert the auditorium into an AVX.
Oh, okay.
And so the night before Prometheus opened, we had a, as it were, grand opening of the auditorium for the cast. And we were allowed to bring a friend so that we can share with them the experience of the AVX. I loved it. Especially it's that immersive sound that's in that theater itself. It was amazing. Like, it was presented in 3D as well. I could have did without the 3D. You know, like a lot of movies you can do without the 3D.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man.
I'm trying to think if I saw that in 3D.
And stuff like that. Like I think the next one we had in there was the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Okay.
That was in 3D as well.
How was that?
That was okay too.
Yeah.
It was great in the 3D.
It's out now. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's out in 3D. Because
there's other ones that are out too, low budget ones like Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies and all that. But the Vampire Slayer one seems to be the bigger.
And the one that comes out next week is not a fiction Lincoln movie. It's the Steven Spielberg movie, Lincoln. It's supposed to be coming out this month.
What the hell? How come I haven't heard of that?
Daniel Day-Lewis plays Abraham Lincoln.
Oh my God!
Yes.
I can't wait.
Yeah, and
I've heard nothing of this. I just love him. I just can't get enough of that guy, man.
He was the second choice.
Who was the first one?
And the first choice was Liam Neeson.
Oh.
He was already signed on to Taken 2.
He would have been you could have done a Spielberg film or Taken 2. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, I'm not really into those movies. The action. Oh, one of my family got kidnapped. I gotta go rescue them, and I could beat up a whole shitload of people. Like, it just, I don't know. It's too much. There's no story, you know. There's a little bit of story in the beginning and a little bit of story in the middle, and then at the end when you find out it was your best friend. Or
well, what was funny is that when they talk about, even in the trailer, he mentions, like in Taken 2, the trailer, he says to the bad guys, like, so if I kill you, your sons will come after me. Yes. It's like, then I'll kill them too. It's like, oh my God, there's a third one right there.
Jeez.
You know? So, so it is 2:30.
Okay.
And it's the end of our show.
Really?
So, yeah. So I'd like to thank Greg for coming in today.
Thanks for having me, man.
And it's been a blast. Next week, again, I might be on my own again because of my James has got his daughter's basketball and that too. But I think I have another guest lined up.
Okay.
But hopefully we can have you on again if you want.
Sure. If you need a co-host, call me.
Yeah. And look forward to seeing some of your stuff.
Awesome.
As well. And for everyone else out there, this has been Real Music, and I've been your gracious host, OJ. So tune in next week for another week of movies. So have a week, folks.